Hi, it's Govinda Singh, 1984, Govlove 84, Aria of OSNST Limited, and I just wanted to do a blog regarding something that's playing on my mind, and it's about Mexican mayors, Mexican politicians, and the number of politicians who've been killed over the past 10-20 years in Mexico because of the cartel drug wars. And it's devastating, it's very scary. Thousands upon thousands have been killed. And you have to ask one of the most important questions is, if the Mexican mayors were white European, would there be more international news coverage regarding their plight, regarding the numbers of people, not just Mexican politicians, but people get caught up in the drug wars, civilians, journalists, students? It's devastating. If they were white European, would it be on the news bulletins? Would it be on the front pages of the news? Because they're La Raza, indigenous, or maybe brown-skinned people, it doesn't get as much news coverage. And so you have to, that's the question, why? So I've read into it and I looked into it, and this is the opinion conclusion I've formed. Cartel drug activity is at its peak in Mexico and South America, Salvador region, due to capitalism. US capitalism, Zionist capitalism from the United States has a major part to play in why there's such a desperation to make money off of the narcotic trade in South America into the United States. This is the bone I've got to pick with the United States. Now, what I don't have a problem with is, imagine you've got a military dictatorship in one of the South American countries that doesn't allow any opposition activity. Opposition are silenced and killed, and it's a dictatorship and people don't have elections or fair elections. It's corrupt, bribery, and it's just outright just horrible place to live. And so let's say, for example, there's a lobby in the Senate, the United States Senate, that say we'll, remove the arseholes, we'll give you the weapons you need to fight these iron hands, and we'll get them off your case. And that's like, I'm not disputing that. But say you've got a country like Bolivia, for example, where they have fair elections, opposition activity is allowed, and it's a democracy, and everything's, that's all fine. But just because the member of the government of a South American country says no to these Zionist capitalists in the United States, that they will not let them purchase commodities or goods or minerals and resources from South America at such a low price, only for them to go and mark it up and gain a huge profit on South American property. And because they say no to that sort of capitalist extortion, then the capitalist lobbies in the Senate start paying mercenaries to take up arms and uprise and overthrowing organised groups. That is what I have an objection to. That's what pisses me off. That's what's wrong. So because of the capitalist exploitation with South America, basically those who are in charge in most countries in South America are Latin, Spanish, Portuguese, Europeans, who are in a position of government due to the colonial conquistadors, the colonization many hundreds of years ago, 500 years ago, where the indigenous population were reduced to the sidelines after genocide. Now, there are resurgence and renaissance of indigenous movements such as Evo Morales in Bolivia, and I think in Peru as well, the Mapuche uprising. So there is indigenous people trying very hard to regain control of their territories, minerals and resources. So because the US capitalists do trade with the Latins, the Europeans of South America, the Latin capitalist governments agree to such extortionist prices because it's going to be the indigenous South Americans who are going to bear the workload and have their resources confiscated or ruthlessly purchased off them for such a low price, for them to be taken to the United States, for them to then mark it up at a higher price and gain such a huge profit margin. So this is, resulted in favelas in South America, whereas if the indigenous South Americans had the money that rightfully belongs to them, they could put money towards their central governments for the army, healthcare, education, transport, police, fire brigade, and the local state authorities. They could have the money to develop and maintain their societies, but because that money is in the United States as a marked up profit, people are suffering hugely. And because of that, a desperation has arisen, a desperation that is very ruthless, where you have those who are aspirational and visionaries, revolutionaries, who want to take on the US capitalists and bring to justice and retrieve what has been extorted from South America. But then there are people who are within the ranks, whether in the army or politicians, who think you're never going to beat America's capitalists. It's pointless trying to take them on. It's a battle not worth fighting because you're going to lose. So then they start thinking of other ways to make money. And that comes through the narcotics. The desperation to make money to bring some sort of income into South America has unfortunately resulted in people resorting to the drug trade, into cocaine, crack, heroin, even firearms. So this is the desperation that some people have. Now, when thousands upon thousands of Mexican mayors have been killed, you have to ask why. Why have they been killed? Is it just a case of them saying to the Mexican cartel, to the South American cartel, the drug lords, no, we will object and not let you devastate and ruin lives with drugs? That's not just the kid. There are some who are very brave and fearless like that, who've been killed for saying we won't stand for this. But some could be corrupt mayors. Maybe they want more money from the cartels in order to turn a blind eye, to allow them to traffic and tunnel narcotics through the tunnels or through the passages into the United States, California, Arizona. You know, there's all sorts of possibilities why some of these Mexican mayors may have been killed. Some could be very honest politicians who took a stand and said we're not going to allow for this to happen, and some could be wanting more money from the cartels or more bribery, or who knows, I don't know, I'm just speculating. But if I could say anything to my La Raza, Nicantalaka, indigenous Zapatistas, the revolutionary Mexicans, those who are getting it from the capitalists who are giving them a hard time, and also the drug cartels who are giving them a hard time, who are just getting attacked left, right and centre, but want a revolution in Mexico. The Zapatistas, who are warriors of the revolutionary, the Shahid, the martyr, Emiliano Zapata and Pancho Villa, is don't get in the cartel's way. Not because I agree with what they're doing, it's just because it's too dangerous. There's no point, there's no worth. It's pointless taking a stand and saying, no, you can't do that, because they're just going to kill you. You'll be killed within an instant. You'll be found on the side of the road, tied up, tortured. It's not worth it. It's too dangerous. It's going to put your constituents in danger. It's going to put the journalists in danger. It's going to put the students in danger. And if you're a mayor, you've got to ensure the safety and the care and responsibility of duty of care and responsibility for your community. And just to stand there and say to a cartel, when South America's been exploited by capitalists in the US, that you can't make money like this, is just going to result in you being murdered and killed. So there's no point. I would say to them, let the United States deal with the dilemma when it reaches their side of the border. When it crosses into California, Arizona and Texas, they can handle it because they've got the resources and the means to tackle such dangerous volatility or hostility. Let them deal with it when it gets to their side of the border. So just let them carry on. If they want to take cocaine through, let them take cocaine through. If they want to take heroin through, let them take heroin. If they want to take crack, let them take crack. Let's let them carry on. Don't obstruct them. Now, when it gets into the United States side of the border, what can we do? I'll continue my next blog, because it's going to be about 2 or 3 blogs regarding this topic. So I'll continue my next blog.